Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video leads on in a way from last week, which was easy tips and effective tips for dealing with that vagus nerve. This is about self-care, easy self-care tips. Now, why do we talk about self-care? Well, it's because it's one of the first things that goes when you're too busy, when you put yourself at the end of the queue because you're looking after everyone else, or maybe you're feeling a bit down, maybe you've not been well. It's been the most bizarre year, as we know, and sometimes we simply haven't been able to get out, or it's hard to get motivated. You can also be anxious, and when you're anxious or you're depressed or you've got any sort of emotional issues, self-care is often the first thing to go. You lose interest, you lose the will, you don't really feel it's worth taking care of yourself. Your appearance can just become not important to you, and it's nothing to do with vanity and it's nothing to do with ego. It's just how you're feeling. It can be the tiredness, it can be the lack of self-worth. Also with self-care, something as simple as having an ailment or an issue that drains your energy can mean that your self-care suffers. I mean, I've said it before personally, I've had low iron on and off. That really affects your day-to-day energy. There's so many different reasons: thyroid, autoimmune, disorders, you name it. So let's talk about some easy self-care, because you deserve it, and it's easy and it'll make you feel good. It'll boost that serotonin. You'll be glad that you did. So first of all, why don't you book a treatment with yourself? So it doesn't matter what you're into. It could be a relaxation treatment. It could be a, quote, beauty treatment, a hair treatment. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're interested in. Book a treatment with yourself. And what I mean by that is, how often do we say, I can't get a haircut at the moment because nowhere's open? That's still true for us at the moment. Or I just can't find the time. It used to be when it was easy to book treatments. I don't have the money, or I can't find the time, or no one will look after the kids, or my working hours don't lend themselves to it. So many different reasons. So why don't you make a deal with yourself? Say Saturday at 2 p.m, I'm booking that treatment with myself, and I'm going to pick what I want to do, and I'm doing it. And if you don't know how to do something, it could be really simple. You can use one of the YouTube videos on my channel. There'll be YouTube videos everywhere. You name it, there'll be someone helping you how to do that treatment. So why don't you pick that time, say Thursday or Saturday or Tuesday. Pick that day, pick that time. And in the same way as you would be visiting your favourite hairdresser or your favourite therapist, you pick the treatment of your choice and you make that appointment with yourself. And you're going to book that in your diary, and you're not going to make excuses. You're not going to stand yourself up. You are going to do that treatment. It could be so simple. It could be even a little file on your nails. It could be a little foot massage. Even if you can't do it yourself, maybe it could be that relaxing bath. Get the foot spa out, go to town on it. Even if it's just a face mask, you're booking that treatment for yourself because you deserve it. And believe me, that is the simplest way to boost how you feel, make yourself feel happy with an easy self-care tip. Book yourself that appointment. And you know what? If you don't turn up for that, fine yourself. In all honesty though, you'll be so glad you did. Another easy self-care tip, and we do make a lot of excuses for this: be your own personal chef. And there's a reason behind this. And again, if you were listening to the vagus nerve chat, you'll understand how important it is to nourish your body, because it nourishes your mind, it helps your wellness. So think about it like this. How many of us have said that if we won the lottery, or for some reason you came into money or you became super famous, you'd hire a personal chef? But you don't give yourself the credit for what you might be capable of. Now, I know sometimes you say personal chef so they can make you whatever you want, and it's most likely going to be all the indulgent things. But who's to say that you couldn't be the best personal chef that you could ever have? If you can cook, what's stopping you? Why can't you take a look at some new online recipes or challenge yourself? You could end up increasing your recipe repertoire, and you might find that you prefer the way that you make things to the takeaways that you quite often got, and they were fine, but they didn't really sustain you. That's not to say you don't adore your favourite restaurants, and of course there's a socialising element and the getting out of actually going to the restaurants and the food establishments. We're not saying that. We're talking about self-care at the moment when you are able to treat yourself. If you're not so confident, you would say that you can't cook or you're not a very good cook. Well, that's only for so long. You will improve if you challenge yourself. So why don't you look for meals or simple recipes, even sandwiches that you really like the look of? Pick a day when you don't have too much to do, and then just take the time and enjoy the full experience. You could even make it a bit of fun, like the cookery shows. Put all your ingredients into little white bowls and just have fun following it bit by bit and feeling like you're just doing it on your own cookery show. Why not? It's about you and your self-care. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you smile, it's going to have a great effect on your complete wellness, your head, your body, everything. If you can build your confidence in the kitchen, it will do you the world of good. And even if it doesn't go 100% to plan, hopefully you'll still enjoy the challenge. And if you approach it the right way, you might impress yourself, and you might even feel motivated to have another goal or to try something one step further. Why not? Go on, be your own personal chef. Another self-care tip that we do push to the side, but it's really, really good for your overall wellness, is to make that time for the hobby or the interest that you always push to the side. Now, for so many of us, and I include myself in this, I don't know where the hours go. Years ago, I used to finish the day reading a couple of chapters of a book until I fell asleep. I can't find the time to do that now. Squeezing in the time for books is actually a challenge, and I don't know why. I don't know if life's faster or busier or there's more to do, there's more options, there's always something happening. So for me, that's definitely something, making time to read, because I get so much enjoyment from it. I get absorbed in either the story or the topic, if it's something to do with an interest that I like, or if it's an autobiography, I get absorbed in the person. So it could be reading. If you find that a challenge, why don't you look at the audiobook versions? Because then you can always find the time to listen to the audiobook. Again, maybe when you're in the bath or the shower, maybe in the mornings when you're getting ready, if you're commuting and it's safe to do so, or even listen to that audiobook before bed. Maybe it's a blog that you love to read, but week after week you forget to visit that site, and before you know it, it's been 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, and you're out of the habit of reading that blog, but you know you love it. Could there be a connecting podcast? There's a certain blog that I go on to, again, when I've got the time, and what's great is the woman that creates it, at the very beginning of each blog post, she's created an audio version, so you can either read the blog or you can click on the play button and it's her reading the exact same blog, audio version. So it's whatever's convenient for you. Maybe there's a skill that you keep meaning to develop, or it's a skill that you'd like to revisit. Can you find some YouTube videos? Could you actually either get started or resume that hobby or that interest? Try and find that time, because you're pushing it to the side. And if you think about it, why are you pushing it to the side? You deserve that self-care. If we find the time to complain that we can't find the time, which is what a lot of us do, I know I do it, then let's have a little word with ourselves. Now, in the gentlest way, you could make a deal with yourself that you wouldn't stop someone you love from doing their hobby. So why are you stopping yourself? Be kinder to yourself. You're doing it for the greater good. Your loved ones and your friends and family are going to really enjoy seeing you at your best, at your most relaxed, at your most engaged. This is important self-care for you. So try to make that time. Self-care that can easily be neglected is interacting with friends, family, or even strangers that are on groups that you have a shared interest with. I love on YouTube when people interact with me in the comments. There are some names that I recognise now going back years, and I love it when they comment. I really, really love seeing those familiar names. It makes me really happy because we don't know each other, but we do know each other. And connecting with people, it's very, very good for your self-care. It's very good for everything. So why don't you commit to either weekly or fortnightly or monthly? Commit to either interacting in a group that you love or connecting with a channel that you follow, or if it's Instagram, knowing that there's an Insta Live with someone that you love. If you can, why don't you commit to that interaction? If you can, and you still can't see friends and family because it's still a bit up and down wherever you are in the world, different levels of lockdowns are still in place. Why don't you try, if there's not already one on, then you could organise it, commit to a Zoom, maybe again every week, every month, for an event that you could create for people that you want to keep in contact with, or just a hello with people. It could be one-to-one, it could be a group. You could organise your own quizzes or just a chat, just a get-together. Because sometimes you think that you can live without this and you think, oh, I'll speak to them next week, I'll speak to them next month. But if you keep putting it off, you won't realise what you're missing. And that lovely endorphin boost that you get when you speak to someone and you've had a great chat, you know how that feels. So you could even commit to an event. It could be free events, it could be paid for events. I'm not ashamed to say that I did a great Zoom last week. It was a Dynasty reunion. It was for charity and Emma Sams had organised it. And it was a charity event and I paid for my ticket. And it was evening in the UK and daytime in the US. And it was about 3 hours of complete Dynasty 1980s nostalgia. And I loved it. And when I came off that Zoom, I felt like I'd been to a concert. I had that great sort of buzzed up feeling when you're coming down from that high of enjoying that event and you're just feeling so happy and you're already thinking about the highlights. Oh, I can't believe that. That was great fun. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. Do it. You will not regret it. So you can pay for events. Again, that was for charity. You can do free events. You could organise even a WhatsApp phone call with a friend. Maybe they live in a different country or you don't know how long you're going to be on the phone for. Just do it. So if you commit to something, which could even be, again, a Zoom yoga class, something, an event that you book. Mine was through Eventbrite. You can do them through Facebook, through Instagram. If you commit, especially if it requires booking, you're more likely to do it. And that means that you'll be counting down and you'll be focused on enjoying it because you know that you want to do it and you know it's in the diary. That is you looking after yourself. You're giving yourself self-worth and you are making time for you and you know how good that feels and you know that you deserve it. And if you neglect it, then it's a very steady, very slow and steady sort of decline into that tiredness and that lethargy. So do something about it. Now remember, it could just be friends and family, just a regular virtual meetup. We're getting to the stage in some places where you can meet outside, but it's quite limited to how many households for a lot of us. But the enjoyment you'll gain, honestly, you'll be in your element and just being present and experiencing the moment, your serotonin will definitely get a boost. Genuinely, if you can, organise that as soon as you can for your own mental wellness. Finally, a very simple self-care tip, but one that gets a lot of people down, is just take pride in the good parts of how you look. So many of us are so critical about how we look. All I hear and see at the moment is that people don't like how they look on Zoom, and that appointments to get Botox and minor procedures and injectables are going through the roof because people don't like how they look, or they feel that they've put on weight, or they don't feel their clothes are comfortable anymore. Of course, these things all happen. It's life, but be kinder to yourself. You wouldn't say that. Well, I'm saying you wouldn't say that to a stranger. Ignore all the trolls. They don't count. Trolls are banned from this. Anyone with a heart and any sense of respect for their fellow human wouldn't say that to a stranger, and you wouldn't say it to someone you care about either. So be kinder to yourself. Appreciate your appearance. If you don't like something, do something about it, but don't jump on the train of, I must buy this £100 product, I must have this injected. Yes, it's your own choice, but sometimes people fall for the peer pressure. They don't realise they're falling for peer pressure. They don't realise that they're following the sheep. They are convinced because they keep being exposed to what they think is acceptable norms. They think, this is my choice, this is the right thing to do. You're actually subtly being brainwashed, and you don't need that. But again, it's always your choice what you choose to do for yourself. But it could be as simple as wearing your own wardrobe and mixing it up to see the good in your physique. Because we're so critical of how we look, we're always comparing ourselves to others. And what we do is we hold back our confidence and we say, I'll be happy when. We all do it. I'll be happy when my arms are thinner. Oh, I just need to get rid of this tummy. I'll wear dresses when I'm happier with my legs. You know, all these things. Why are we doing that? So as you know, in the past year, life is really fragile. We need to look after ourselves. We need to try and stay as healthy as we can. But let's commit to appreciating what we've got. And shop in your wardrobe. Do it with confidence and just be kind to yourself. Appreciate what you've got. Appreciate what's healthy, what works well, or what you've worked hard to achieve, because we're all on our own wellness journeys. And what I tend to find is a lot of the time with our self-worth and our self-care, we're listening to people that are trying to sell us a solution, sell us the answer, sell us a product, a cream, a procedure. But do you know what? Happiness starts within. And you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel confident. And some easy self-care tips that you can follow will help you on that journey. And I hope you're already there. I hope you do feel good about yourself. I hope you can see the positives. And I hope you can make time for yourself. And hopefully this will be a nice, positive and relaxing little video, just full of some tips for you. I'd love to know your thoughts too. Let me know what you consider your essential self-care. As always, have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon.